So I've already ranted at length about how I process my thoughts and words, and my recent beef with people who make me feel uncomfortable in conversation. Let me wrap up this series on a more personal note, since I've been quite a dilemma on whether or not I should really begin to live my life with less filters. I'm quite aware that people who get to interact with me over a prolonged period of time, like former colleagues and coworkers, would say that I'm quite the abrasive person. I can be honest and direct. I often speak what's on my mind, that many tend to think that I'm simply being harsh and cold. Truth is, I just never like bullshit, and I hate phonies. And I'm not the type of guy who will pretend to tolerate those for the sake of pleasing people. What you see now is me already heavily filtered. I could always be harsher and colder if I wanted to, but since I operated in professional circles that required good manners and essential etiquette, I've grown accustomed to being civil. But I don't know, I think I'm growing tired of that as well. My closest friends know that I could really run my mouth and be totally crass in private. And that's a side of me that some acquaintances, like former, more senior colleagues and teachers and professors, have a hard time accepting. I've already gotten some personal messages calling me out on my recent attempts to shed that stuck up persona on social media, saying that, hey, this isn't the Alex that they know. Thing is, I truly wonder if I should still have to put up these pretenses. It takes a lot of effort, and I don't even know if I'm actually scoring any brownie points at all for even keeping the facade that I'm a decent and civil guy. I've been recounting how many times I've let certain remarks slide, chose more diplomatic language when offering opposing viewpoints, or kept my mouth shut entirely just to avoid fights and cause disharmony. There doesn't seem to be any advantage at all to being, the bigger man and taking the high road all of the time. At this point, I could only wish karma would reward me in this lifetime. It would be quite a tragedy to have endured much crap, let things slide, and not to get any perks at all. The prospect of getting some wins now is definitely much more attractive than getting reincarnated as a wagyu cow that eats choice grass and gets massages in the next life. In addition, I think keeping my filters on also holds me back from calling out the wrong. Some people need to be called out on their shit and likely deserve some hurtful words hurled their way anyway. For instance, I've been in a number of interactions where people run their mouths, expressing some really, really offensive and hateful views. Plenty of times I've let it slide just to keep the peace, and yet I lose sleep over those, knowing that no one called them out on their shit. I've already come to terms that I'm quite a polarizing guy, and I don't go around trying to be popular or friendly to everyone anyway. So disabling my filters may have consequences. It would probably alienate mere acquaintances and not so close friends. Then again, I guess it's high time that I pick the circles that I run in. I think I pretty much know by now who the people who can accept my true self, filtered or not. So maybe that's the answer. I may just have to properly curate my social circles so that I could be myself more.